So you are live in both locations.
Ladies. Hey, ladies. We're going to get started in just a little bit. I'm just trying to calm myself. It's been so busy this morning. So we are going to start off with the Quilt Shop. And we're not going to start yet, but just get ready to do the Quilt Shop.
You have everything you need?
I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah. That's to be determined. It's scary. I'm going to grab something to drink so I can speak. I will be right back. We'll get started in just a little bit. Yep, that's the same one. I'll do the colors. I was going to say, I just lost the hoop and the fabric. Is that it? Okay, so this is, you can open this up and you cut me, oh, here it is. Cut me a strip of muslin that's with the fabric by 12 inches.
What do you mean? The width of fabric by 12 inches, okay. 12 inches, how many?
Just cut me one, 12 inches, and then you cut me with the fabric by 2 inches, 6 inches. One is 12 and one is 12 and one is 2. Well, I don't know if it's going to go.
Right here. Yep. So with the fabric, so just one, right? Yes. And you want 12 inch too?
Yes, please. Alrighty. Is it time? It's 2:01. It's past time. Welcome, ladies. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do today is we are going to start with the Quilt Shop. So that's going to be page 21. Here's our quilt design, and this is everything we should have put together. And we are going to be using either the 10.5 inch hoop or the 9.5 by 14. That's what's going to fit. Now, I think there's instructions in here.
Can I borrow your book for the threads? The thread. She wants a thread kit for that. So it's just going to pull them off the
around for?
It doesn't say anything on here.
Oh, it doesn't.
And I did tell her I ordered it today.
Oh,
so I'll have it
okay.
next week. Okay, so we are doing page 21. And let's get our fabric. I went ahead and grouped everything. I was real organized, and I did do a video for you, and can I just tell you, Patrick and I have been so busy, we just haven't even had time to put it up yet. But I did do a video showing you how to do all the little pieces. Can you grab me a 10 and a half by 10 and a half inch hoop?
A 10.5 what? Hoop? Yes.
Okay.
Right here?
Yep. It's just going to be one of the square ones. So let's look at these pieces and which ones I put together. I think I took pictures and I put it in the supply list. And I did go ahead and pre-quilt look how cute that one is. Is that adorable?
Okay.
So cute. So I went back here and I looked at sections 5 and 6 and I said, what can we pre-quilt before class? So I did do the video. I'm so sorry you don't have it yet, ladies. But if you look here, because if you look at your instructions for quilting, here are our quilting instructions. And you have 29 and 30. Those are your two little pinwheels. And hopefully you got my my note that when I trimmed these down in the video, I trimmed them to 3 inches by 3 inches. I don't even know how that happened, but they needed to be trimmed to 2.5 by 2.5 inches. So these are the two pinwheels. Instead of quilting 29 and 30 separately, I went ahead and sewed them together. And then I went ahead and quilted them. And I think I had some, I have the video recording of all of that. So I did those two together, and you can choose. Like what I did is I went, okay, that's the quilting design for 29 and 30. So I went here and I looked, well, 29 is Halloween 4 and 30 is chevron 1. And then I just chose one. So you can choose one to do both of those. And I just decided to do the chevron, which I think is super cute.
10.5 here.
Hang on 1 second, ladies.
You think it's in the other,
Oh, it might be in one of the drawers. Okay. Just had to grab that. And then I went ahead and I did this one. So 31 and 33, I pieced those two together. That's this right here. And again, I looked at what designs they had because they had a separate design for each one, and I just chose one and I used it in both of them. And I just chose the right size. Finally, well, not finally, because there's two more.
Did you use the cording foot on your serger to do the piping for the pillows?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then finally, I did this one. So, and they had you pre-piece those two together anyways. It was the bat and it was the spider web. And then, you know, it does make a difference what orientation you do. And the spider web's supposed to be hanging down. So I did stitch it like this, which is so adorable. And then this one is going to be here. This one is 34 and 36. I did stitch those two together. And then I stitched the quilting design all together on those. Just to take it from, I mean, that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hoopings. Instead of doing 7 hoopings, I did 4. And I think I did these all in, I did 1 hooping because I put this all in the same hoop together, and I can't remember how I did it, but it was all in that hoop. I think I did it like this. I think I did it in an 8 by 12 hoop, and I did something like that. So 1 hooping, quilting, all done, all together. So I promise you, when I post the other videos, that one will go up there too. You'll get that video too for all of these. All right, so let's go ahead, and now these border pieces are all done and ready. let's go ahead and get what we need for our embroidery today. And we are going to be doing, let's go back to that page. What's the question? The 5.
The 5?
The 5. Okay. And some cording. Make sure she gets some cording. 4 yards. All right. The soft stuff. Yeah. Quilt Shop. Breathe. All right. Here we go. This is our Quilt Shop right here. I know there's a little bit of a glare from the lighting. Let me see if I can get that down so you don't see that. So I went ahead and grabbed my fabric. Your background fabric is going to be this. And let me pull all my other stuff out of the way. Well, is that it? You would think there's going to be so much more. Okay, so it is just going to be this. This is all you need fabric-wise, but then you are going to need your embellishments because there's going to be a lot of shiny stuff that's going to be going into it. We are going to go ahead and load up I'm doing muslin, but you can use no-show mesh. I'm going to load it into my 10.5 by 10.5 inch hoop, and we're going to go ahead and get our batting. Your batting piece should be 9 by 11, and let's load up our design. Hang on just a second. Let me grab that, my tray. It's in the other room. Where did... Looking for my mask. Here it is. Let me get my tray. I thought my work area looked a little too neat, and it did because I didn't have my thread tray out. And ladies, this is what you should have so far. Hang on, let me swing this around. This is actually from the pillow. So this is home is where the haunt is. So that's from the pillow, not from what we're doing right here. But this is section 2 from last week. I hope you guys did okay with that velveteen. You know, I did stabilize it and mine came out absolutely perfectly. And then I did all of these. The wardrobe was super fun and all of the stitching. So I did have somebody ask me, what are we going to do because of the ones that we didn't pre-quilt? I will quilt those in the hoop, and that would be a nice lesson for you. So I just went ahead and sewed them all together. This is section 1, but you're going to see that this one, this one, this one, and that one, none of those were pre-quilted. So these 4. So I'm going to, and I'll show you how to do this. We'll go back and we'll create the stamped image and then do the quilting and then add the embellishments. And as far as the backing goes, I'm just going to cut a piece of batting that's going to fit this section and this section. I'll put muslin on it. And then we're going to have to stitch in the ditch when you put your backing on anyways. I'll go ahead and trim that a little bit. It's not really going to add much thickness to it, but I will add the batting and muslin to this later when we do the quilting for this, just so you know. Don't worry about that. We'll get that taken care of. It's going to get quilted. It's probably going to get quilted just with some stippling though. All right. So here are the ones that we have so far, and now we're going to have 5 and 6. So we're getting close. Next week, I'll quilt this stuff in a video, and then next week we're going to work on embellishments. So we'll work on all of those things that go with it. All right. Let me grab my muslin. Had Miss Lori cut that for me. I'm going to put it in my hoop. All right, here is my 10.5 by 10.5 inch. Oh, nope, that's my 9.5 by 9.5 inch hoop. This is I did not know that was my 9.5. Hang on just a second.
Oh, no, I started her page, yes. She just has to sign. Alright. So I did do that, actually. I don't know if I got every one of those little things on there, because I got the thread.
There we go. Okay. Let's see if I have enough room to hoop this way, and it looks like I do. I always think I'll have some time to kind of relax and just, you know, be leisurely, but it's usually not how it works around here if you've ever been into the store. It's usually pure just madness, controlled chaos. If you haven't used this hoop before and you have it, you just want to go ahead and we're going to lay this down in here. You need to open up this lever down here, so it needs to come and point down. And then I'm going to go ahead and cinch that up. And if it's really easy, it's not tight enough. I'm going to cinch that down. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up a little bit. You don't want to strain, but you don't want it to be too easy, which that definitely was.
You didn't get this one, did you? The ginger, the whisk one? Okay.
That feels pretty good. Okay, we are hooped up and ready to go. I'm going to load up my design, and remember, we are going to load our quilting design first, and our quilting design is going to be Halloween 2, and the size we want is the 8x10. So let's come on over to the machine. Here we go. Cord is in the way. Look away, ladies, if that is making you sick. All right. I am going to put in, let's see what color we're going to be stitching with first. In the beginning here, it just says, if you see that square with the lines through it, that means color doesn't matter. First color that is going to matter is going to be the black. So I think, let me see, it's just applique, applique, and a lot of black. And then the sign placement. So I think I'm going to go ahead and, but you know, it's not really doing placement, stitch the signpost. I'm going to go ahead and put a black bobbin in because there's so much black. And you know how I like to match that. So over here, let me just go ahead and put in a black bobbin. Looks like I have one on top of the machine already from when I was stitching last time. We're going to go into our designs. Let's select our design. These are my quilting designs. And we want Halloween 2. And I'm doing block by block. And the size I want is going to be 8x10. Now our design is vertical, so make sure you pay attention to that if there's two 8x10s. And there's only one 8x10, so that means it's not directional. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And that is cute. Look how cute that design is. I got to go ahead and let me hit I for info. Isn't that adorable? It's got ghosts and hats and candy and bats. So I'm going to close that and I'm going to go ahead and set it. That's the 8x10 design. And now let's go ahead and we're going to load our embroidery design. So let's go ahead and add. Did I pass it? Nope, there it is. And then we're going to go ahead and set that. And that's really, really cute. So he must fill up that quilt block. Look, it doesn't show it because it's hidden behind there. There he is. So it's gonna go there up in the upper right hand corner. And let's go ahead and say embroidery. And you can see your size right here, 10.5 by 8.5. I'm gonna go ahead and say embroidery. Let's slide on our hoop. Slide this on. And it just fits in there. Okay, color doesn't make a difference, but I'm gonna put in black. I'm actually gonna put this in because okay, first thing it's gonna do is it's gonna do a placement line for your batting. So go ahead and just do the placement line. I'm gonna get my batting and give it a little shot of spray.
Red sets the other day. 20% off?
No, it's
Red set.
it's -$7.
-$7. Okay, thanks.
Okay, I'm gonna give this a little shot of spray. And then get your applique scissors ready. And you just wanna take this and completely cover your stitch line.
Is the ice cold? Is the ice cold outside?
75%. Okay. When you get a chance, bring me the lilac with them from underneath the table.
It doesn't have to be ice cold. It's just
No,
anything.
just flat, open one. And grab your applique scissors. We're going to trim this next. We have 55 minutes of stitching. That doesn't include the applique time, so I think this is probably going to be about half of our stitch time. We're going to trim this. We'll do a placement line for our background fabric, which is the white with the orange polka dots.
Is this okay?
Yeah, okay. All right. How are you ladies doing? Because Miss Kathy said she wasn't ready. I wonder how many of you are with me or how many of you are having to catch up. So I'm just trimming my...
Did she hear me screen out 25%? Yeah. Okay.
For the isocord.
I just screamed it.
Let me me see if I can, it's kind of tight in here. I could get my snips. And then I'm going to get my last edge right here. All right. I'm going to slide it. Oh, it's already in place. I'm going to go ahead and do the placement line. This is going to be for the fabric. And here is your background fabric. Give it a little shot of spray to the back. Do that, and then we will do our tack down. Your tack down's pretty much going to be on the edge, so the color really doesn't make a difference. How are we doing, ladies? Good to see you, Miss Joyce. I'm not even folding it these days. I'm just laying it down, just making sure it's pretty centered. Need to come down a little bit. Center to the hoop and center to your fabric line, like right here and right here. That should be good. They give you a good inch all the way around. And now it wants to do the tack down. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the tack down. Again, I know it's black, but we're going to trim right on that, around that area. And then we're going to have to put in a color for our quilting. I forgot all about that. I'm going to quilt in white. So I'm going to put a white bobbin back in there. Good time to use this up. I don't know if you're like me, but I feel so good when if you have a black, depending on what color you're doing your quilting in. I'm doing white. I am going to put a white bobbin in. If you don't have these, I love these little bobbin holders. They're perfect for my little projects, and I don't have to bring my whole box of bobbins. Right, and I'm going to put some white thread in, and we are going to go ahead and do all that quilting. I feel like there's going to be a lot going on with this embroidery. Otherwise, maybe I would do like an orange or something fun like that. And a lot of it's going to get covered over too. Some white in. Good afternoon, Gail. Nice to see you. And let's go ahead and quilt that up. That's going to be 7 minutes of stitching. I'm going to have a sip of tea. Once we're done with the quilting, then we'll start with our actual embroidery. And the first thing they're going to want you to do is remove the clear plastic film from the glitter. And the glitter piece you're going to be using is going to be that black glitter. So get your black glitter. You can remove that piece. You can remove the plastic coating from that. And I had already removed mine from when we used it for the hats. So mine's ready to go. But you have your black glitter. Other things you're going to need from your embellishment kit are going to be your white leather, and I'm not going to cut my piece down, I'm just going to use it from this. You're going to need your mylar, and that's this like kind of iridescent pinkish shimmery piece, and then your clear vinyl for the windows. So I know people always like accidentally throw their vinyl away. Mine has glitter all over it, so I'm just going to wipe it off a little bit, but you're going to need all of that as well. What was that?
Are there any more of these?
There aren't, but if somebody wants one, let me know, because I think I have enough to cut some more kits.
Okay, Irene does.
Irene wants one? Okay, send me a note and I'll cut her one too.
Okay.
She can have either the black with orange polka dots or black with white polka dots. So just figure out which one she wants. I won't have it till probably the beginning of next week, because I'm waiting for that, I'm waiting for the orange velveteen.
Oh, okay. What's the choices? Orange?
That polka dot print that you're seeing there with the black with the orange, or black with white.
Polka dot?
Yeah, and it's just the border. It's just the border. Look at the little hat, the little scrolls. I was talking with somebody else about it, and I really think it is maybe just as time, not as time intensive. Like I was thinking it was going to be so much more time intensive to do the quilting, after, but I think this is going to be, pretty equal. And then we're also, it's quilt as you go. You're quilting in just small sections instead of having to deal with the entire quilt and putting that through your machine. Hello, Miss Audrey. Hello, Miss Joanne. I'm looking at the comments. If I'm not saying hello to you, it's because you didn't say hello to me. I don't know who's in the room. But when you write in a comment, then I can see you're there. Miss Paula's here. Miss Kathy's watching. I hope this is helping you keep on track. And Joyce is correct. The first color we're going to put down is going to be our purple, and that's going to be the bottom of the house. Color does not make a difference. I'm going to go ahead and hit start. It's going to do the placement line for the purple. And we are right now doing stitch the house placement line, and we're going to place house fabric right side up and then the tack down. And you should have your purple floral material. I'm going to give mine a little shot of spray to the back. I know that's kind of hard to see white on white, but you should be able to see your placement line. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay that down, making sure I cover the whole thing. Fabric's not really directional, and I'm just going to leave the white in and stitch it down. Get your applique scissors or your snips. Guess what I found? One of my 2 pairs of titanium snips. That means I went from only knowing where 1 pair of snips was to now I know where 3 are. It's kind of an ebb and flow thing. And then you're just going to want to trim this close to the stitch. Hi, Pam from Colorado. Thanks for joining. It's always fun when somebody from out of town is here. You just go, oh, the pandemic has made the world a much smaller place. And just go ahead and trim close to that stitch. I love the snips because they're so easy on the hands. You just need to pinch together. And they're just so easy. Plus, these are super cute. There we go. Let me grab that. Alrighty. Next thing it wants to do is we are doing the roof. So go ahead and just hit start. Again, color doesn't make a difference. And for the roof fabric, you're gonna get that kind of squiggly black, gray, and white fabric. So grab that. You know me, I love my KK100. That's what I'm using today. I just don't know how anyone can use any other spray adhesive because I've gotten some of the other stuff and I always go, is this even working? Because it just never seems to even get sticky. And you don't want to spray at your machine, so I have a spray box, or sometimes I'll just hold a piece of fabric in the air. And try and get this nice and straight, like horizontally straight, like this way. Make sure you're not all crooked. And just go ahead and do your tack down. And then we're going to do the dormers placement line for those windows up in the roof. And we're going to be stitching down that black glitter. I'm doing it. I'm switching out to my black bobbin. And it may or may not make a difference, but I'm just going to do it anyways. And let me also trim this away. And this you're going to trim close to the stitch again.
Hopefully this will do it. Okay. Well, I gotta do it right.
All right, that is tacked down. Okay, next step is going to be the placement line for those, for the little windows. And it does say to do that in black. So make sure you change out your thread. I'm going to put my black in. And then we're going to stitch the glitter down. Hey, Michelle. Or Lori. Will you grab me the Goddess pressing sheet? It's like a Teflon sheet. It's like.
Do you have
like,
one open?
Yeah, it's all the way at the other end where the iron is.
Okay.
There should be one there. Okay, I am, you can tape this down if you want. Let me see if I have enough this direction. Because remember when I had you ladies, oh my god, it makes me so sad when I make mistakes. But I had you put down the wrong color for one of the witch's hats. I'm going to give this a little shot of spray because it does stick really nicely with that. So I'm going to give it a little shot of spray.
There you go, my dear.
And heat up your iron, ladies, because after we stitch this and we trim it, we are going to, we're going to press it. I'm going to just give that a little press. And then we can go ahead and tack it down. I'm going to heat up my iron. here. Whoop. That moved a little bit. Did you see that? But I'm just going to press it down. I think it would be fine. It's going to be fine. If it had been a little bit more, I'd probably rip and undo. But I think we got that. And I'm just going to hold this too. You can also tape it. And I'm going to get my straight curved scissors. The curve to go over the edge of the hoop and the straight. Because this is going to be cut as desired. So I like about 1/8 of an inch past the stitch. Okay, I'm going to pull that hoop towards me. Got a little bit of room. Let's go ahead and trim this up. Like I said, I like about 1/8 of an inch. That looks pretty good. All right, and let's refer back to our instructions. Make sure I'm not leading you astray. We just did this where we stitched the dormer tack down. We trimmed it as desired. And now we're going to press the glitter with a warm iron using a pressing cloth. So my iron should be heated up by now. Let's take it over here. There's my tea. And I'm going to slide my hoop off. This is my goddess pressing sheet. And I'm just going to hold it down right over the glitter dormers. I've always wanted a house with dormers. I just think like an attic or, an upstairs room with dormers just looks so cute. I grew up on the East Coast with lots of like old houses. I kind of have dormers at my house. Now that I was thinking about it. We moved into a new house about 2 years ago, and we do have some things like that. But what I really want is an attic with dormers. And a sewing room up there. That's amazing. With lots of natural light and just, you've all seen those on Pinterest.
Simple, just straightforward.
I can't complain. I have a daylight basement. But it's never a sewing room. It's never quite bright. It's still warm. Okay, next step, ladies. Let's get the book. We're going to turn our page. How are we doing? Is everyone doing okay? Looks like you're all good. We are here on page 22, step 7, and it says stitch the window placement lines, place window fabric right side up, and then we're going to do the tack down. Color doesn't matter, so if you want to leave that black in there, you can. Sometimes I think it's going to get satin stitched, but I'm going to change that to white. I'm done with that. There's a signpost. I'm just going to leave that black bobbin in. I think it'll be fine. But let me go ahead and put my... I don't think we're doing our satin stitch quite yet. But we're going to be doing that signpost coming up. So let me just do this. All right, this is placement line. You're going to get your yellow fabric. So you should have this yellow lattice fabric right here. And we're going to be trimming this right to the stitch line. And we've got 3 windows that we're doing right now. I'm going to give mine a little shot of spray just up here because I'm going to trim and then place and trim in place. So it wants to stitch the big window down first. I'm not placing, I know it had you place it on the entire thing, but I'm just going to stitch this and I'm going to hit stop when this one's done and trim it, and then I'll place it on the upper windows. And once it cuts, that's when you will hit stop.
You've got your stretch stitches, like if I come down.
There's the cut. I'm going to stop it. It's going to move it up there, but that is fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and just trim this one.
So just nice, basic mechanical operation.
You don't have to do that. You could have just sprayed the whole piece and laid it down, not thought about it.
$3.99. They're on sale right now for $3.29. We'll do it for
And that one is stitched, so I'm going to go ahead and lay this down.
these are $2.99. I'm sorry.
And once it cuts this one, I'm just going to hit stop. I'll trim this one, and then I'll put my fabric down for the last window.
It puts you in that same range.
And it will move over to the next window, but it's going to stop. Remember, you're the boss.
What is your
You tell your machine what it's going to do. It doesn't tell you what it's going to do, what you have to do. You tell that machine you want it to do. And I'll put this down for my last window. You put your foot up if you want.
Hey, how are you?
And I'll just let that stitch out because it should stop right after that. After this, we're going to do the door placement.
So, you know, we're in this price range.
Let me move this down so I can get to.
I only have a handful of machines, but quite frankly, a lot of them, if they're loaded with features, they're generally really cheap.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, this is where I would go, and like you've got
Those
this,
are
which is
done.
kind of like slightly older school, standard oscillating hook.
Slide this back on.
Like this is a machine which is going on.
We are on step number.
And then it just kind of goes up from there.
We're in step number 9. So we're going to stitch the door placement line, and then we'll place our fabric. And then we will tack it down and trim it. And the fabric we're using is going to be that black with the polka dot. So I'm going to go ahead and do my placement line. Here's the fabric. If you want, you could change it to black. Black's going to be our next color that we're going to do. So I'm going to, whoops, almost left that down there. I'm going to give my fabric a little shot of spray. And place it down.
Upgrade.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, isn't it a night and day difference?
I'm going to put some black thread in.
and they're like needle and thread.
And if you left the white in or whatever color, your chart says the color does not make a difference. So
You're just looking for fabric?
Oh, no, I'm just going to browse around.
Gotcha. But do you want fabric? She's gonna come for it.
She's going to come to the home.
you can go ahead and stitch that down. And then you're going to trim it close to the stitch. Wasn't quilting fun, Paula? I love the quilting. I mean, it's so cute. I'm excited to try the clear blue tiles, their new system, because I think we should do that table runner. I think the table runner will be absolutely adorable. And it'll be fun to just, place down your template, mark, and then do your stitching. I think it's going to be, the quilting's going to be the highlight, and you have all those fun quilting designs that you can use. All right, trim that close to the stitch. Your next step, we're on step 11. It says to stitch the sign post fill. So you're just going to go ahead and hit start. You should have black in. Make sure if you don't have black in, put your black in right now. After you do step 11, now you're going to stitch the sign placement line. That's also going to be in black, so just go ahead and hit start. And you want to get your white leather, your sign leather. So get your white leather, and we're going to place that right side up, and we're going to do the tack down in black. Okay, so your sign leather, this is why I don't pre-cut it, because it says to cut your sign leather to 4.5 by 2 inches. And I'm just going to lay this down, and I put it a little bit above there. You want to make sure, for me, I have at least 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch up and above. And then I'm going to stitch it down, because you're going to want to trim it as desired, but that means having a little bit of a seam allowance. Or a seam allowance, or not a seam allowance, but you know what I mean. Just a little bit past the edge of your stitching. Get your scissors that you like to use to trim your leather as desired. For this kind of stuff, I definitely would recommend matching that bobbin thread. I mean, if you look at our stitch out, it's 55 minutes of stitching, but it's 2:55 on my clock. So with all that applique and all of the placement lines, it just takes longer. This will be like those embroideries from Main Street Celebration. Those each took, I'd say, probably about 2 hours. Some of them were 2.5 hours. You're going to just go ahead and trim this as desired.
Probably twice in my lifetime already. This one has so let's just fight for I don't even realize it was through her church. Yeah. So I didn't even know where they went, and now I just went in between there and maybe how to go. Yeah, this is the new brother book club 3100. My mom was getting ready to little motors and then it would be this That's right, and then this is the the art. So as far as features, they're similar. Some of them might be a couple of different that are on the art. Right, we'll be right back. Patrick's gonna probably be helping you with that. We have just that problem there. Is that something that you like, something that, what's your school? Well, for quilting and stuff. So I get classes, my secondary was to help people go to people and get the pattern to try to do more cards for people, so I'm using that stuff. There are many days we want to check the door, this is not working. Can we just read it?
There's my little sign. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So cute. Let me throw all my muslin off to the side. I have this on a long strip that I'm using for this hoop and my 9.5 by 14 because I'm doing 2 projects at once. I'm stitching this stuff and I'm also stitching the pillow right now. That's what I'll be doing all weekend. Can't wait. All right. So that was the end of step number 13 where it said to trim your leather as desired. We are up here now, so we're going to stitch the signed scroll work and then the quilt shop, whichever way you want to say it. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to leave mine in black and just pay attention because sometimes it's that dark gray, I think. But I'm going to do mine all in black. Now, make sure that you have a black bobbin in. It's gonna be worth it. A black bobbin in for this. The other thing you can do if you want, sometimes when I'm doing really small print, I'll use 60 weight thread because it just makes it look a little bit more defined. And you're going to need your orange and you're going to need your yellow thread too. Right. So I'm just going to hit start again. If you want, you could use, a dark gray for this. I'm just going to use black. That looks cute. So I'm going to use orange for candy corn next. I'm going to use this orange right here. And it shows like a light orange and a darker orange, but I'm going to use that, it's kind of my favorite orange. It's like a random spool that I have from Robust and Anton. I don't even know where it came from. And I'm going to change my thread out to white. If it's a lighter color, I really like the white. If it's black or like a dark color, then I'll use the black. For stuff like this, the Quilt Shop, I definitely will use a matching color. Okay, I'm going to put this orange in.
most of the time in the middle is always most perfect, but if you ever did it,
Just so you know, I'm on hold.
And then there's going to be a little swirl. So you could go with a darker orange, or you could go with whatever color you want. It did show it in a light orange and a dark orange, but I'm going to do this kind of medium orange. Oh, it just looks so good. Looks so good. Pick whatever color you want. I think I'm just going to do mine in... I know it doesn't call for it. I'm going to do mine in a purple. Love it. So are you ladies stitching with me today? Are you watching? Who's stitching? Paula, is it just you and me today? Starting to get that feeling. Oh my goodness. Are you done, Gail? Are you like putting your binding on this? I think Karen Roselli was doing something. She was doing her, I think she was doing her, maybe her border or something. So I know some of you, which I love. I mean, if I wasn't doing this so long, usually when I do these quilts, I'll just do it in a weekend if I have the time. Because I get so excited and so into it, I just keep going. But I love this sew along right now because it is keeping me on track, and I don't have the time to do it all in one weekend, so this has been kind of perfect for me. Audrey's stitching. Yay! I should, you know, if I don't pull that out right now, it's going to bug me. Let me see if I can. But where did I put my tweezers?
So it's funny because part of the
Are they
shipment
over here?
that was supposed to arrive today, but it's sitting in Sacramento. So this was in.
I want to pull that.
So when.
Okay, next step, ladies. We are on step number 18, and it says stitch the candy corn stems. You know what that means? They're thin. They're really thin. I'm going back black bobbin. Who's just leaving their white bobbin in? Are you seeing any of that coming through? Probably not. Maybe it's just the lettering that I see that in. Okay, putting my black in. And this is going to be for the candy corn stems.
So don't use this one because this is going to cost more money and stuff like that. And what I was hoping today was more, which I've been waiting for.
Oh my goodness, Gail! I can't believe it. I can't remember, Gail, if you bought the kit or if you just used fabric from your stash. But I would love to see your pictures. So I don't know if you can take some pictures and post it to the sew along group. Especially if you use your own fabric, because I know it's going to look amazing and it's going to look different. CJ's stitching too. right, after you do the stems, you're gonna stitch the mylar placement line shown in red, and it's gonna be, you're gonna work in white, and then that brown, and I like to use a yellow because that's candy corn to me are those colors. I'm just changing out.
The difference with the accessory bottom piece and this one is the
And you don't have to do that.
other one's not.
Maybe I might see like one little fleck. But I just love it when it is perfect. Okay, so we are on step number 19, and this says stitch the mylar placement line shown in red. We just did the stems, so I'm going to take my black thread out. I'm going to put my white thread in. And I like this, we have these sections because it keeps me on track and it makes me do it too. Where I'm like, the ladies, I'm doing it for the ladies. Although you're just all stitching out, you're all pros. You don't need me. Okay, this is the mylar placement line. So there's one of your little flowers. There's your other one. I can't decide which project we're going to do, but we are definitely doing a Kimberbell project where everyone has to pick their own fabric. And we'll make it a little contest. And I want to see people get wild and crazy. I want to see things I would never expect. Okay, we're going to put your mylar down over that, and you want white in first. This is going to be the inner part of the candy corn flower. And just, this is step number 20. Just go ahead and stitch. You can tape it down if you want. It'll just kind of hold it in place. Oh shoot, I should have laid it all the way across, but I laid it down the wrong way, ladies. I'm just going to give it a little snip here, and I'll lay it down on the other side. All right, if you had it only on one side like me and you laid it down up and down instead of across, make sure you stop so you have that mylar over on the other side too. And get your next color ready. It's going to be the orange, and then you'll do yellow. All right, take out your white. Let's put your orange thread in. Or is it yellow next? No, orange and then yellow. Check and rethread. Huh, he's threaded. Let me go ahead and check my bobbin. And check my bobbin because my machine thinks something's not right. go back. I'm going to go back 10 stitches.
It's funny because for like aftermarket boots, sometimes yes.
Don't know why that didn't catch, but I'm going to go back.
So we look at the drop-off
Let's see what happened there.
So now you mentioned already what you're talking about.
Just make sure my bobbin thread is catching. Sometimes this is just telling me, do you like the way I just threw my thread to the back of the machine?
Differences are going to be the ballad comes with a lot more hardware and comes with a compact moving keypad. So like as an example, the 3100 is essentially a $7,000.
And then get your yellow thread ready.
From,
That's going to be the outside of the flower. Oh my god, it's so cute.
6,700 is the retail on the ballad.
I can't wait to hang this one up.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
I love that somebody said, oh, I'm going to take Mylar from balloons and I'm going to put it on the back of this embroidery. It's going to make it shimmery. Isn't that great? And then you could use up all your balloons. You don't have to throw them away. Just save them and use them in your embroidery. Because I would never have thought of that.
Obviously, went down the street, we saw the baby lots. Baby lots are essentially
And then after this, we're going to be doing the candy corn flower outline, which makes it totally stand out. I'm going to change bobbin and upper back to black for that outline stitch. And it's the outline stitch that really makes it. This is step 22 that we're on. We're 21 minutes into our 55 minutes, but if you look at, if you do have a progress bar, you're going to see some big chunks of stitch time for the satin stitching that's going to be coming up. And you have other pieces of fabric, like I couldn't figure out why I had fabric left over, but like for instance here, you're going to have bolts of fabric. That's going to be part of your embellishments that are going to go right here in the front. I haven't even looked at how we're going to wrap those up there. They're so cute. get your black thread ready. Black bobbin, black thread. Let's do that outline stitch. It's going to be black for the outline stitch and for the fill. There's a center fill. I'm just going to put the black back in.
But you start getting into what I call like real and part of the reason
And we also have to tear away your mylar. So let me not totally slide that on. When I tear away my mylar, I like to pull in towards my embroidery.
Because I can sew you a machine like this that it doesn't have all the stitches that this does, but it does like.
And if you want to grab your tweezers and you can pull a little bit more of that mylar. If you have a couple little stray pieces that didn't come up, you can do that. I'm not going to worry about it because we're going to be stitching some more on top of that. And my hoops on. I have black in my bobbin, but not my upper. Let me put my black in my upper.
So, I mean, the 3100 degree machine, it's an excellent value. I put that machine, like, if you looked at the Viking, like the high-end Epics, or if you looked at the Fox, the high-end Icons, you're talking $10,000 machines. That machine will do every single thing that machine does.
And let's hit start and let it do the outline stitch for these, and then go ahead and hit start again to do the very center of the flower. So this is step 23. Oh, you know what? I jumped the gun and I pulled my mylar a little bit early, but it's okay. It's under the petals that we really want it. Might be time to change the needle on this.
So, I mean, every now and then, you throw something at the machine that will figure it out. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to put your fabric under there, and the machine's just going to perform. And it does that like these machines.
That's a bad part. That's a really bad part for me.
Okay, now I'm going to do this center fill, and if you haven't pulled the mylar away, right now is where you're going to pull it away, and then you can just go ahead and hit start and do the fill of the center flower. And you want to have a purple lined up to do the outline of the house. So get your purple thread next, that's for the house satin stitch outline. Let me put my white bobbin back in.
Yes, you get the digital bill so you put,
And it's going to do the two sides of the house.
You
could leave the block in if you wanted.
This has a standard mechanical walker. And you go from like 5, this has like 350 stitches. This is
Right.
like 560 stitches. That's like 750.
My black thread in. I'm not my black, my purple. I can't decide which purple to do. I'm going to go this purple here.
Maybe 70 to 80
seconds of stitching. Just let it go. Next color that you're going to do after this is going to be the window satin outline. So I'm going to just pick a nice yellow. I think I'll just do... I'm going to pick a nice yellow to match.
Oh, yeah. And open it up so you can show it up.
I'm going to do this yellow. Ooh, you know what? That's not as gold as I want it. There we go. That's perfect. Perfection. My God, wait till you see how messy my table got. I'm gonna have to hide it from you somehow. So when I film at home, I try and like go really fast so you can't see the messy parts of my room. Which is hard to do because there's a lot of messy parts. But you ladies know how it is when you're working on 20 different projects at once. I'm always so impressed with the ladies that work on one thing at a time. I think I have ADHD or ADD. I don't even know what the difference is between the two, but I think I have it because I get so bored. Okay, I'm putting in my yellow. And this yellow is going to be, I have a golden yellow in, and this is going to be the window satin outline. And get your vinyl, because after you do this, we're going to get our vinyl. We're going to stitch the vinyl tack down and window detail. It's really easy to lose that vinyl, so you just kind of put it down. Mine's got so much glitter on it, I'm just going to leave the glitter. That'll just add to the spookiness. now we're going to be going through the muslin, the batting, the fabric, the vinyl. I'm just going to leave my same white bobbin in. I'm just going to change the upper to black once we're done with these. Feature has been activated. Needle has broke, and you know what it is? My embroidery foot is somehow was loose somehow. So that is a lesson in should have been tight. Somehow it shook up and the foot got it. So you always want to, and you know what, I felt for that earlier before I got started. You always want to hand tighten it. And then you want to tighten it again with a screwdriver. And sometimes I think this is just a message from above telling me it is time to change your needle. So I'm going to change out the needle. Don't be scared. This is part of the hazing process. I'm going to put an embroidery needle in. And let me just raise that up. And thank goodness we have a safety feature. It knows what's going on. So you're going to hand tighten your needle, or I'm going to hand tighten my needle, and you're always going to use a screwdriver and tighten it a little bit more. If I can find. Okay, I'm going to put my embroidery foot back on. All the way up. Okay, let me go ahead and tighten that on. And then we have a hoop tightener. We're going to go ahead and tighten that a little bit more. You don't want to crank it, but you want it to comfortably tighten. And I'm ready to rethread. and I'll go back, let me go back 10 stitches. Close. And we're back on track, ladies. So just have your vinyl ready. That's going to be the next step with your black thread. Okay, let's refer to our instructions. We just finished placement, tack down. We just finished step number 26, which said stitch the window satin outline. Now we're on the top of the next page where it says place vinyl completely covering window and stitch in black the vinyl tack down and window detail, and then we're going to trim our vinyl as desired. So let's get our black thread. Let's change that out.
I was talking to my husband about that in the car this morning, because I want to do 2 shows a year, because I love, I just don't have to, work all year long on them, but, I love the Carson High School one, and I love the High School one.
I'm going to cut and trim as I go. My vinyl.
And you know what? This is they're just a different breeds,
I had it here. Oh, it got swept to the back. I got nervous for a minute that it got swept under. So I'm just going to lay this down right here. And if you lay it down like right around it, you don't have to trim everything. It's going to go ahead and do a stitch line. Usually it's right down the middle of that satin stitch. So I can just put it here, and then I'm only going to have to trim like over here, and a little bit in this way. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start.
Carson High School. Yes. And then I did the Montana.
And when it does the cut to go to the next part, I am going to just hit the stop button so I can trim the excess. If you don't feel comfortable laying it down this way, then lay it so you have some of the window hanging over. Oh, you know what? It's going to do the window painting part.
Just take it as a donation. Yeah. You need it more than ever now. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to hit stop. And let me go ahead and trim this up, and then I'll place my window up at the top part. And if you look at your instructions, it is going to say trim vinyl as desired. So I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch using my straight edge scissors.
No. Oh, that's the bane of everyone that wears shows. And I called him and he's like, bring it in. Okay, in the car. I'm like, don't stop me now.
There we go.
You know, I just kind of lost my band. I just have to go find a color now.
Let's lay this down up here. Just going to do it right to the edge. I'm laying it down right to the edge of the satin stitch. That way I only have to trim 2 sides. And it also has little window panes, so I'm going to let it stitch that, and then I'll hit stop. Trim that. Then we'll put this one down. gray in and we're going to do the window ledge. So we're going to trim this last window. Look how cute those windows look. Oh, you can't see that one, but isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. Very cute. I'm going to slide this back. Joyce is saying that she's one step behind and started one step ahead. Am I being super speedy girl today? I'm not feeling super fast. I think I do some things that save time. Like cutting like this, like laying my vinyl down this way because I'm not cutting all 4 sides. I'm only cutting like 2 sides instead. Righty. Okay, it is window ledge time. So go ahead and slide your hoop back on. Let's pick out a nice gray. We are going to do the window ledges. Which gray should I use? I'm going to use this pretty one. Look at this, ladies. This black. Look, you can see the spool underneath. We're getting that close. Look at my white. Love it. Okay, I'm going to put some gray in, and we are going to do the window ledge. Anywhere from like a light gray to medium gray would probably work. And you've got the big window ledge here, the 2 that go up at the top. And after this, we're going to do a bunch of white stitching. We're going to do the porch railing, the door satin outline, the door window fill. And then back to gray, back to black, back to gray, and purple. And then we're done with this one. That will have only taken us, right now it's 3:42. So we're an hour and 42 minutes in. So hopefully we'll be done at 2 hours. Faster than I thought it was going to be. Okay, I'm going to take out my gray thread. I'm going to put my white in. And the next step is going to be 5 minutes of stitching. I don't know if this is going to be enough of this white to make it through, but we're going to try. Let's go ahead and stitch. Ladies, your sorry, I have the hiccups. Your pinwheels should be done already. And so the next one we're gonna do, sorry, it's gonna be thimble flowers. So have your fabric ready for that, because as soon as this is done, we'll take it out of the hoop and we're gonna get started on thimble flowers.
Double-sided brushes, do you know what those are?
They should be on the wall, like in the notions area. There might be just be like one left. I like those Singer ones too, Patrick. So for the thimble, you are going to need your background fabric, and you are going to need your silver leather. You're also going to need some batting, and if you refer to our handy dandy chart, the thimble's batting is going to be 5 by 7, and you can do this in a 5 by 7 hoop. So you might as well get your 5 by 7 hoop hooped up with some muslin or no-show mesh. Either will work. until I was like dragging it all around and I couldn't get it out.
I put this.
All right, ladies. Now we're gonna go ahead and what are we gonna do? Let me go to our steps. That was the porch railing. The next two steps are also gonna be in white. The door satin outline and the door window fill. And I guess they maybe don't stitch it all at once just to give you the option in case you'd like to change your color. Okay, I'm hooped and ready to go. What's really going to make this this design is going to be all the embellishments. So when we're done with this, we're going to be adding some pennants. We're going to be adding the banner that kind of goes across. We're going to be adding the bolts of fabric. So there's a lot of little cute stuff that's going to happen. There's a little button for the door. There's a pinwheel, so we're going to do the detail on the door, which is going to have, like, look how cute that is. This is what we're going to be doing. So we are going to keep stitching after this. We're going to do that door accent right there, that little pinwheel. We still have to stitch like the foundation, the roof fence, the roof satin outline, and the dormer roof outline. But you'll be adding the bolts of fabric, and we'll be adding this banner. That must be stitched out later on. And you can't see it all the way, but there's these little gold pennants that are going to be hanging out here next to the design next to it. Okay, just go ahead and hit start again. It's going to do the window detail on the door, and then we're going to put our orange in. So it's going to be a little pinwheel on the door. Still have 15 minutes of stitching to do. So it might be this and the thimble, but maybe we can get to something else. Let's put in the orange. Oops! I said orange, and the next thing I know, I was putting in gray. Just went on autopilot and grabbed a spool of thread. Glad I caught myself. Would have been a lot of confused faces out there. This is real life embroidery. This is what happens for me in real life. get ready is going to be the gray for the foundation. Alright, I'm going to pop in a gray. I picked one a little bit darker than the one I did on the windowsills. This is going to be the foundation of the house. It's 3 minutes of stitching. Okay, the roof fence detail, that's going to be some detailed stitching, so I'm going to put a black bobbin in. Black thread. That's a minute of stitching, and then we're going to go back to that gray again for the roof satin outline, and then purple. cute stuff. Okay, I'm gonna put the gray in. I'll just leave in my black bobbin. Should be fine. And now I'm gonna do the gray for the roof satin outline. Hopefully I can stop hitting the embroidery arm so the camera will stop swaying. This is going to be 6 minutes of stitching. cute. Okay, last thing it wants to do is it wants to do the purple on top of the dormers. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the same purple that I put in before. I don't even know what bobbin I have in. It's the black one, I think. Hopefully it won't run out. And this is 2 minutes of stitching, and then we're done with this, and we're going to get started with the thimbles. I shouldn't have said anything. Okay, let me take that off. I'm gonna put in the just a bobbin. Is it time for bed yet? I'm getting sleepy. Here we go. Let's go back 10 stitches. Let's go ahead. I'm going to take this out. I will pop it out of the hoop. We can press it in a little bit. I'm going to go put it in my pressing area. While we're doing that, I'm going to load up for the next design. Where are you at, ladies? You kind of where I'm at? I already hooped up my, look, there's like the missing piece from my last design. I didn't cut it off yet. And I leave it all on a strip so I can just move it along. So I'm just going to slide this on. You can cut it if that annoys you. I'm going to bring that in here. Change to an bigger frame. Okay, if this ever happens to you, I slid that on. And that's a 5x7. But my design doesn't fit in a 5x7. I haven't cleared that yet. So I have to say, okay. I have to actually slide it off. And you don't even have to slide it off all the way. I'm just going to slide it down a little bit. And then I can go back and clear it. But if you slide that hoop on, it's going to ask you for a bigger frame. So I'm going to go home. Okay. Now I can slide that frame on. And let's refer to our handy dandy chart. And our handy dandy chart says we are doing thimbles. We're going to load in Hobby 2. That's our quilting design. Did I push the right button? I don't think I did. Quilting. Hobby 2. And our size is 4x6. Four by 6, and there's only one 4x6, so you're just going to load that one. If there's two, you're always going to look at the direction and go, okay, is that the right one? Before we hit embroidery, we're going to add, and we're going to add the thimble design. So I'm going to go back to my pocket. If you're not on the Luminary Solaris, you're just going to go to the USB button. Candy Corn PES, and let's find our thimbles. Right there. Go ahead and set it. And everything should be all together. We can just stitch out in the middle of our hoop. We can also move it. So I'm going to hit embroidery. Sometimes I move it when I remember. I'm going to go layout, move. I'm going to move it over to the right. You might have an edit button. Sometimes on some of the machines it's edit and the next page is going to be edit. And we should be good to go. Your batting piece should be 5x7. We're working the 5x7 hoop. And we are ready to stitch. Color does not make a difference. So I'm going to just leave that purple in there. And we are going to do our placement stitch for our batting. Here is all my fabric. I've got my background fabric, which is the, it's the gray on, it's the dark gray charcoal with the witch. And then we have our leather. And for some reason mine didn't stitch. I'm going to rethread my upper and start over. And if you're new, because I know some of you are new to get back, you're going to just hit this button here. And I'm starting right at the very beginning. So I can either hit 0, which will take me to the very beginning, or I can hit my back arrow, which will take me to the beginning of whatever color we're on. 2 ways of doing that. Or, I mean, 3 ways, because I could just back stitches, actual stitches. So here is my... Oh. Remember to take these with me. Here's my batting. Remember, we're spraying on the rough, nubby side. That's our wrong side. Lay your batting down and make sure it covers your entire placement line. And go ahead and hit start and get your applique scissors because we're going to trim. These are the same steps for all the quilting, except if you're laying down, if you're not going to be doing applique afterwards, like when you do the border pieces, you don't do the background fabric tack down because you don't need that. But if you have background fabric that's big, like this thimble, then you're going to do the tack down. Am I confusing you? And I have so many different scissors. I just use whatever is within reach. I love these scissors too. You might love the applique duckbill scissors. Those were Shauna's favorite. And I wasn't good at those because I didn't have a lefty pair. I know I'm cutting with my right hand. But I'm really a lefty and I just couldn't get those to work for me. But those are a lot of people's favorite scissors.
She's driving through, and she said she might be back through on Wednesday. Did she really? She was on a cell phone, so maybe she was in that area.
All right. So we are going to go ahead and do the placement line for the background fabric. And let me go ahead and grab my background fabric, which is this fabric right here. And that fabric's directional. So for me, I loaded my design in. If you see my thimbles, I have two thimbles. That's the top. That's the top part. So I have two thimbles that are right side up, facing that way, and one that's upside down. So make sure you put your fabric the right directions where your witch hat. I have a witch right there. She should be facing that way. Your top of her hat should be facing right. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this, and then we'll lay it down. I'm trying to decide what color I'm going to use for my quilting. What is going to look amazing? Make sure you're centered. And let's go ahead and do our tack down. And then we're going to do our quilting. I might just do gray, dark gray. I can't decide. It looks like they did. I'm trying to look and see what they did. I think they did black or gray. Let's do black. I think I have a white bobbin in there. I'm just gonna put this in. This might be it, ladies. This might be the end of this spool. There's a lot going on here. It's like swirls on top of swirls. You know, to be honest, if I did it over again, I think I would have just done like a geometric design, like maybe chevron. Maybe I would have done the chevron or something like that. I gotta stop because I can see a little bit of white. I'm putting in a black bobbin. I was gonna just try and go with the flow. So you see how you can see like just a little pin dot there? Let's go black bobbin. Black thread, black bobbin.
Oh, I need your advice. You just hadn't asked yet. So the ballad is essentially six. There are always two sections. So the detail on the ballad is 2566. So
Here we go. Let me go back a couple of stitches. There we go. Stitch away. we are ready to go ahead and start our embroidery. So let's grab our instructions. First thing it wants us to do is, we look over here. Number one, it wants you to stitch the flower stem detail. So pick a pretty green. And I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I'm going to put my white back in. There's a little flower coming out of the top of one of the thimbles, and that's what this green is. I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna do this green right here. The thimble placement line, and it wants it in a dark gray. Let me get my my most favorite dark gray. I'm going to use this right here. I'm going to take out my green. It wants to do a placement line first. Go ahead and do your placement line, and then you're going to grab your silver leather. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little shot of spray from the back, or to the back. Funny, like the spray will, look at that, it goes right through, but it'll disappear. Like, see how it just comes right off? I find that interesting because I spray it so lightly, but it's almost like it's cold to the touch on that side. So you're going to place your thimble leather right side up. Make sure you're at least 1/8 of an inch past that stitch line. Here's mine. I'm going to go like 1/4 of an inch on both sides. I'm just going to go ahead and press it down. And the instructions say stitch the thimble, tack down line and detail, and then you're going to trim your leather as desired. We're almost done with this one. Maybe we will get 3 done. Wouldn't that be great? So while it's doing that, that's 7 minutes of stitching. Let's prepare our, let's get our other one done, the house. So I'm going to heat up my iron. Go over here. I'm going to pop it out of the hoop. So with these, you want to just open up the lever, and this is only the 10.5 by 10.5 and the 10.5 by 16 that has that little lever that you pull open. I'm going to go ahead and put this back because that's the only one we really need to do that. If you don't have a hoop that's big enough, you do have to do a double hooping, and there's instructions for that. All right, ladies. Wool mat. Ooh, ow. Pin was sticking up there. Okay, wool mat, I like to press from the back side, and you get a little like rippling. This is what gets rid of all of that. I'm gonna spray it. You don't want to do it dry. You want to definitely spray. Up, non-directional, but I am going to go ahead and I'll just press one direction and then I'll go the other direction. Swing it around and I'm going to press it this way. I'm going to focus on those parts, any part that's kind of ripply. And we're going to trim it, so don't worry about it. All right, now I'm going to go over to our rotating mat. Let's come over here and I'm gonna put this a little to the side. I feel like I need a cut. I need to be able to put my head over what I'm cutting so I can see. Page 23. We're gonna get our 8.5 by 10.5 pop ruler. That's this big boy here. You always want to have some kind of grippers on the back side so it doesn't slide when you're cutting. All right, I'm just going to cut this off so it's not as unwieldy. Maybe it'll help you with the orientation if I don't have it upside down. There we go. Okay, so you're going to frame it with your ruler. And you're going to want it to be kind of even. And don't worry about this stuff. You're going to be sewing a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So, and anything that's not totally straight, don't worry about that either because that's just going to make it look spooky. Like it's a house that's decrepit. And I think I'm going to bring this down a little bit here. I'm kind of lining up to my sides because my sides are more even. The black line in my sides. I'm going to look from the top and I think that looks pretty good. If you do have a thread that maybe is over 1/4 inch, you can just pop it. You can just get rid of it. It's just a basting stitch. Okay, I'm ready to start cutting. So I'm going to go ahead, walk my hand up too. And when I turn, I'm going to push down on everything so nothing moves. What are you looking for?
What you wanted me to make the kits? Which one is it?
Oh,
Haunted house, you said, I know.
hang on.
Go ahead, you do that. Oh, look at
feel like I'm not going through in some spots, so I'm probably gonna have to. Hang on, I'm just gonna go through one more time. Yeah, I could hear that now.
That's very cool.
Why don't you grab one of the kits?
There's kits on the very end. Is that what you're
That's
talking?
it.
But that's not it, is it?
Yeah.
That's the one you want?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were looking for Haunted House or something.
Gonna go around one more time. Oop. For some reason that one didn't cut. Where's my ruler? Favorite ruler. Time for a new blade.
Yeah, okay.
I think it was a little big for my rotating mat. And Candy Corn Quilt Shop, looking cute, looking sharp, and back over here. Our thimbles, those are looking cute and looking sharp too. We've probably got 2 more minutes into this one, and then we'll go ahead and trim it. Our next block is 4:37. Let's start it. Next block is going to be pumpkin pincushion. You ladies have done that one before. We're going to be in our 5x7 hoop again. And let's grab our fabric. Be ready with that. That one should be quick and easy. So here is everything. I've got my 2 pieces of orange fabric, my batting for the quilting, my flex foam to make it puffy, and my background fabric. So that is all set and ready to go. We'll just keep on quilting this one. Or not quilting, but embroidering this one. Oh my God. It was me, Lori, not you. It was me. Can you believe we're like almost done? Like we've gotten through our embroidery, or some of us. Isn't this exciting? Because I wanted to have it done in plenty of time for Halloween. I can't wait to hang it up. So do they have to buy that
piece in a 4x4 is like,
I think you should have all do the same design. Yeah, because who knows what they're gonna end up with, and who knows how long one will be able to stitch everything.
okay, this was really expensive. I was like, oh, look at that.
Can they buy that one design?
It comes the whole alphabet.
It what?
It's the whole alphabet. It's not.
All right, we are done with that embroidery. Okay, my ladies. I was distracted because Michelle was showing me the amazing project she's going to be doing for the first. We're doing the 10 needle club together. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to pop it out of the hoop and I'm going to rehoop so we can start stitching. And while we're stitching, I will go ahead and let me come over here. While we're stitching, I'm just going to cut it off. Over here. There we go. I'll go ahead and trim that. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna rehoop and we are gonna start the thimble. Thimble time, ladies. Go in. Ugh. I could have loosened that screw a little bit, but why do that when I can struggle in front of you all? Okay, let's slide that on. Let's grab our handy dandy chart and let's pick our next design. So I'm going to go home to clear my screen. We are doing the pumpkin pincushion. That is wavy 3. So let's get our quilting designs. I'm looking for wavy 3. PES design. And the size we want is going to be 4x4. That's our finished size. So 4x4. And you have to decide which way you want your design, and then we have to load the pincushion that right direction too. So I'm going to load this. If I have to rotate my design, we can rotate my design. Let's go ahead and hit add, and now let's go get the pincushion. Here he is. And you guys should be a pro at the pincushion by now, because this is our third one. And we are ready to go. First thing we're going to do, I'm going to leave that thread color in there, is we are going to do a placement line for the batting. I'm going to give my batting a little shot of spray. There we go. Tack it down. You do have to figure out what color thread you want to do for your quilting. I think I did a lighter gray on my last one. I'm going to do a medium gray on this one. Get your applique scissors because we're going to trim this up. Alright, I'm going to give my background fabric. Here's my background fabric. Remember, you want to place it I mean, it's up to you, but I think that is sideways. I like this way up and down. I'm going to give it a shot of spray. And just make sure you're kind of centered to that. I can feel right here and here. And you're going to do your tack down. My thread came out somehow. And then you're going to do your quilting. So think about what color you want to do your quilting in. Maybe I'll leave it in that dark gray. It's my favorite dark gray. I'm just going to leave that in there. I'm going to go ahead and do the quilting background. And then we'll be ready to look at the book. Oh, you know what? Sorry. I skipped the tack down, so I'm going to skip the, I just placed it before I did the placement for the background, but that's going to stitch right over that. I'm going to fast forward. So, because I don't need that, I kind of knew where that stitch was. To fast forward, I'm going to go to this button, and this will go to the next step. And then you can look at your screen and confirm you have what you want. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to skip that step. I think my brain must have wanted to skip that. And then let's get ready to do some applique. Once we're done with this quilting stitch, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this up here. Number one, we're going to do the placement stitch for the flex foam, and then we're going to tack the flex foam down, and then we're going to trim it. So these picture steps, that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to leave that same green because the color doesn't matter. And we're going to do the placement for the flex foam. I'm going to go ahead and hit start. With my flex foam, I'm just going to kind of hold it in place. It's kind of hard to see, but kind of watch. Start, stitch it down. I'm going to slide that out and trim it up. All right. Slide it back on. That was step 1 and 2. Step 3 and 4 is stitching for the first orange fabric for fabric A. So I'm going to go ahead and leaving the same color in. And I'm going to grab my, which one is it? It's going to be the inside one. So the inside one is going to be this one right here. So I'm going to give that a little shot of spray to the back. Lay it down. It's going to do the tack down. Then we're going to trim. Okay, let's trim that up. Pull that back, pull this forward. Let's go ahead and trim that. Right. Now it wants to do the placement stitch for the other fabric, for this fabric. And I'm going to give it a little shot of spray to the back. Okay, so for the flying geese, I'll probably just use muslin. You know, actually, so for the flying geese, you're going to be doing that, and then you're going to be quilting it later. It might be nice to just use that on the muslin, because then it'll stay nice and soft. I'll probably use the muslin. Muslin or no-show mesh, whichever one you want, but I would use one of those. The tearaway was fine, but I had to rip it away from all the like little inside pieces. film that too. And a lot of times I don't get to the filming until Sunday or Monday. Those are the days we're closed. I always mean to do it on the other days, but I get so tired when I get home. And my kids want me to feed them. They're so rude. The dog wants me to play with him. Patrick wants hugs. Poor Patrick. So I'm hoping you'll only have to look at my ugly, I know, you know, my fingers are really ugly to begin with because I'm definitely not the QVC girl. You know how they have the perfect nails. But I think that, you know how I killed the left side of my finger over here and it turned black. So I'm waiting for it to like fall off or something. I'm really not sure what happens next. It's just kind of like, it's kind of hard there. I think I could kind of, I don't know. It feels like there's like no, feels dead. Like, so hopefully by the time we get together next, it'll have fallen off. And you won't have to look at that blackened, dead side of my finger. Okay, let's go ahead and throw in some orange thread. I'm going to throw in my prettiest color. And it's 5 minutes of stitching. And while we're stitching that, why don't we finish up? Oh, look at this. See if I can get my thread out. This is what we did today. This, and this. So let's keep stitching. Okay, I'm gonna put pumpkin orange in. Heat up your iron while you're doing this so we can press out that thimble block. And remember, do not press your leather from the front. You will scar it. You will be sad. Okay, I'm going to clear this area. Let's look at our thimble. Looks like our thimble is going to be trimmed down to 6.5 by 4.5. So grab your 6.5 by 4.5 pop ruler. I was going to do this like absolutely amazing sale on pop rulers, and then I called to check out my order today because I ordered 20 sets, and they said that they were going to be here in, when did they say they were going to be here? October. I was like, oh, that's fine, October 4th. And then they looked at it and they go, oh, no, we don't even have those anymore. So there's no, I can do 20% off. So if you guys need pop rulers, let me know. I can do them at 20% off. But that's the best I can do them at. I'm so sorry. Waiting for my iron to get hot. And you know what I didn't even do yet? We didn't even trim it up. I'll go ahead and trim it up in just a second. I just left my leather on there. Let me go ahead and trim that up. Aren't those cute? Tote bag back. What are you looking for?
The giant tote baggy baby. Oh, here it is. It doesn't have stuff in it, so it's not giant.
Wow.
It's 5 o'clock, so I'm leaving.
Thank you so
Believe
much,
that?
thanks, ladies.
Thank you. See you. Look at
I'll
those.
see you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. What the was that? I don't know. It's really cute.
Isn't it cute?
It's adorable. You have to touch it to feel all the effects. It's so cool, the neat papers and things you use, the neat fabrics.
Yeah, look at the little thimbles. Yeah, that's cute. Cute.
That's so cool.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, Miss Lori.
Bye.
I'm gonna just round out these really sharp corners. Okay. Cute. There we go. I'm gonna give it one more press from the back. And then I'm gonna take it to my rotating mat. Turn that off. And that color is done. So you can leave in that same orange or you can change it. I'm going to go ahead and change it out to a different orange because I've done that for each one of these. Oh, you know what? Don't even listen to me, ladies. I'm glad I looked at my screen because it wants the top of the little pumpkin pincushion. So I'm going to put this green in. Good thing I was looking. Let's start that. Let me clear my area up and I'll get my mat ready. Here we go. Okay, I am going to frame it right around that 4x6. And I'm going to go ahead and cut. We'll see if it's really this blade or maybe it was that I was working with such a big block. Oh my goodness. Do you see I have this upside down? Because my thing moved a little bit. I'm like, why is that moving? And I put this upside down with the grips on the, I'm going to swing it. So that I'm doing it right now is a class on what not to do. I've done a couple of things. So, and I'm pretty much right on that line. Ooh, that sounded good. You guys, you ladies know what a good cut sounds like. Good cut that kind of goes all the way through. What's going on here? Okay, here we go. Sometimes you just don't catch it on the corners. That's okay. There we go. And there are your thimbles, and we'll add the adorable embellishments to it later. I'm going to finish up my pumpkin pincushion. Woo! Let me plug that back in. Pick that up. All right, I'm going to put the other orange in now. It's going to do the orange around that center. We've got 4 more minutes of stitching left. And we'll have gotten through entire section 5. And you'll have the rest of section 6 for homework. So what you'll need to get done is, there's the solid dress form. So you've already done one of those, so that shouldn't be too hard. Rest in Pieces, which is going to be the other tombstone, and then your flying geese. And next class, I want to get together with you, and we are going to work on embellishments. I'm going to look at we're going to look at the embellishment section. I'll go through the book and see what our timing is, because if we can get through other stuff, we'll get through other stuff. Maybe what we'll do is I'll finish up the quilting for the people that need that. Borders and binding. What we have left to do is borders and binding, the embellishments. Let's see how long those embellishments are going to take, because we're going to have the dimensional banner, the pennant banner, dimensional mini quilts, dimensional skirt, fabric bolts, and your buttons. I think what we're going to do, ladies, is we're going to start by adding our borders and binding, and then we're going to do our embellishments. Thread broke, so let me go ahead and fix that. I got caught up here. Let me see if I can get that out. Get wrapped around. I'm going to go back 20 because it got wrapped around the upper part. So I'm going to go minus 10, minus 10. Okay. Let's go ahead and stitch that. After this is going to be the pins and needles. Is happening. You know, it happened again. I don't know if that ever happens to you. Every once in a while I'll get a loop up there. Let's see. And if that happens again, what I will do is I will get out a spool net. Sometimes with the way it unspools.
Alright, I'll let you know.
See if I can get that thread out of there. Need my tweezers. All right, let's go again. only have a little left. Go back. 20. I keep my fingers crossed. I'm actually going to watch it spool off this time.
Hey Joyce, that door isn't open on number 4 because your foot's not up. You
Right
got to
here?
put your foot up to open that door on your machine. I was just reading her comments.
He's got such a loud voice, huh? Okay, let's go ahead and do my needle and my pins. I'll see you next time, Audrey. Two more minutes. Okay, I sent you an email. Can you,
Put a whole pig in here.
my machine is saying I'm tired. I think. I got a little bit of a shred. This happens. It's okay, ladies. Let me go ahead and cut that off. I was watching my stitching and that pin was looking awfully thin, and I was thinking, oh, it shredded my thread a little bit. I'm going to do that whole pin over. There we go. I'm going to go start. That looks better. Okay, and then you want to put in the orange, and it's going to do the little dimples from where the pins are going in. I'll just go ahead and use this orange. The one that didn't give me any problems. And then you want like a yellow or whatever color you want to be your thread that's going to go through the eye of the needle. Okay, so now you're going to put in a color of thread. That's going to be the thread that's going through the eye of the needle. I'm going to put this bright yellow back in. This is what happens when you don't fully cut your thread. It leaves a loop. Now it wants a little pinhead. Do mine in purple. I'm in a purple mood right now. It calls for orange, but I just threw in some purple thread instead. And then it wants a little gray, but I'm going to do, what color should I do? I'm going to put in orange, my bright orange. Whatever color you want for these little pinheads. Let's go ahead and stitch it. I'm going to turn my iron on so we can press this one. And you're going to need your 4x4 pop ruler. And we did it, ladies. We got 3 embroideries done. I'm going to pop this out. Let's come over here to my pressing area. Let's move all of this. Give it a good. This is directional. So I'm going to go up and down first. Go up and down first. Oh, my iron's already hot. Must have been hot from before. Move this like this so I can really get over it. I'm going to go this direction next. Okay, let's take this over here, right here. Put my little tools away. And let's see, do I have a 4x4 out? Let me get one. we put it right side down this time, so your little grippy thing should be facing down.
I totally spaced Momo. I need to go get him. Do you want me to come back here?
All right, ready, ladies? Frame it around that outside tack down line. Looks good. And go ahead and cut. Oh, I moved a little bit. Just the tiniest bit. Just gonna reframe it. Make sure this fabric's not pulling it. Go this direction. And turn one more time. Make sure the fabric's not dragging it. I think I cut it in all the different directions. Yes. Done! All right, ladies, for homework. Finish the embroideries in section 6, piece it all together. I will be sending out some videos, and I will see you at the next class for our binding, and not our binding, for our sashing pieces, our border pieces, and our embellishments. Have a good night. Bye.